Hello to everyone. FinEst Center for Smart Cities is welcoming another addition in our team. And today we are happy to that Dominik Beckers has joined us and we'll go through and discuss a bit where you're from and what you're doing. So to start with, what is your research area in your PhD studies that you're doing, and how does it associate with the smart cities?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for welcoming me to the center. My research area is actually on smart city transitions. So the question I'm asking myself is how can public administration at local or regional level facilitate the transition of a city towards becoming smart? There I will, for instance, look into questions of multi-level governance. So what is the role of local and regional public administration in relation to, for instance, higher levels of governance? That might be the nation, or that might, for instance, in the case of Estonia, be the EU. But also, on the other hand, looking at lower levels of governance. That might, for instance, be citizens, or if you then will, innovations coming from the niche level. So that is the general idea. This is what I'm actually looking into in my PhD. And over the next 4 years, I will then develop questions or look into also those questions to understand the role and position of the governance. Yeah.
It's fascinating. Well, probably already during these first weeks that you have been here, you have seen some of the features and maybe also disadvantages of the governance in the cities of Estonia and maybe also in Finland. What do you think about it? How it differs from the rest of the world?
I think it's good that you stressed that it's only been a couple of weeks, but indeed before that I actually did already work for for the Finnish ecosystem, if you will.
Right.
And as an outsider, of course, not as a citizen yet, as an outsider, I can definitely see that there are, at least in theory, many mechanisms or many interfaces, if you will, for a diverse area of stakeholders to get involved. I think, for instance, of citizen participation. I think of other stakeholders being given the opportunity to have a say, to be directly involved, be it through projects or through means of providing feedback. This is something that I found rather interesting and that I found striking, especially in comparison to other countries. How much it works in reality is, of course, a different question, which I will probably experience myself living here for the next couple of years. But at least in theory, let's say in the planning procedure and the planning process, this is something that definitely struck my attention and definitely stands out.
Right. Well, how did you actually find the information about the FinEst Center?
That's a very good question. Actually, that was pretty much the first link or the first website I Googled when I came across a PhD position, because it was advertised. Just simply in the PhD opening, it was advertised that the backdrop of this whole program is against the Smart City Center of Excellence. So of course my first reaction was to Google this center and come across the new internet representation. But also besides that, it's a very, for instance, with my research group, we talk about the center pretty much all the time, one way or another, be it through formal or informal means. And it is definitely a topic of discussion, not only within my research group, but also if I talk to people from a larger network, be it through my former job or be it through my other more extensive network. People know about the Center of Excellence, and that is a thing, shows how much has been done in the past couple of years and how far the center has already come.
Right. So we haven't been in the place for a very long time yet.
Indeed, but still.
Right. So what is the extra value that we actually expect from the FinEst Center?
I already mentioned the buzzword network, and I think that is definitely something. It's a network of very highly qualified and just very qualified people, and to just be in this network and benefit from this network is a really major advantage. Besides that, I think especially my research topic, being related to governance, plays in quite neatly with the research streams that you have, of which one is governance. So there's a direct link which definitely helps me in, for myself, it definitely helps me to just advance my own research, but I hope also to contribute to the center, especially the governance stream, by just simply advancing my own research. So I hope it's a mutual benefit there that can be actually.
I hope so. Well, how would you describe then the FinEst Center's role as the PhD student's mentor, or say, is there something that you already learned from our team?
There are two dimensions to this, I think. There's one dimension where what have I already learned, and I think it's definitely the network perspective. And what I mean by that is that you have different actors, you have different expertises in the center, and how this can be combined to advance research on smart cities on one hand, but also to address more practical aspects of smart cities on the other hand. I think that is something that I can definitely benefit from. That is something that PhD students in general can definitely benefit from. And then I think the second dimension is on what will I learn, and what will PhD students in general learn. And already there I have had some experiences where if I wasn't busy with other things right now at the beginning of my PhD, I think I could have contributed to perhaps already some research, be it for articles, be it through just some of the expertise I could contribute, or on the other hand, gain from other researchers. So I think this exchange within the network is something that will be definitely, it's already very important, that I have already learned, and I will also continue to learn in the future.
Right. It's good to hear. And if somebody would consider to join the FinEst Center as a PhD student, what would you recommend to them?
I think one thing is definitely with your five tracks? I think you had covered in the 5 tracks. It would be good if there was a connection to at least one of these tracks. It makes it easier, at least that has been my experience, if I makes it easier to be directly involved, to contribute, to gain and exchange. At the same time, I think also try to be bold, really. For instance, one of the things I'm really interested in is the circular economy. I communicated that very clearly from the beginning, and that's how I already found others who are interested in the same topic also at the Center of Excellence. So even if it's good to have a connection to one of those streams, but still be bold in the sense that you can try to bring in your own interest and your own expertise, and it's likely there will be someone else you can cooperate with.
Right. So thank you for these kind words, and we'll, as said, we welcome you to the team and looking forward to a very successful cooperation.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.